My brother would describe me as tech polite, meaning that I can do some stuff, but I'm not well that versed with the internet. But in my own opinion, I think that I'm very well versed with the internet. I know how to look for stuff and search for them and get them instantly.
After a couple of months teaching myself how to code, I came across Impact Hub page with the advertisement on MicroWorkspace, a program for training data scrapers, developers. I found that opportunity for me because at that time I was unemployed.
You know, there are always pop-ups of free courses online and everything like that. So this was almost like my first SIM-related free course. So I decided to apply.
This is a concept that we heard about from Mercy Corps. They were actually doing something similar on the Gaza Strip. The challenges they had there was high youth unemployment, but also lack of mobility. So whereas in Zimbabwe you get a lot of young people leaving the country when they're looking for opportunities, the young people there just don't have that same mobility. And so this was the solution for them, helping the young people there to be productive, to set up businesses and to create jobs, but also be able to access jobs outside their borders, jobs in other countries, doing so through the internet.
So large parts of the population educated, but without a job. So we're in it from a youth employment perspective. Then you start looking at youth employment in what, right? And so again, if you look at the trends globally, which are magnified even further in Zimbabwe, technology is such an important factor now. So what can we do to help youth to make use of their technological skills? And then lastly, I think that's particularly important for Zimbabwe is the entrepreneurship component. So if you combine those three elements of sort of youth unemployment, important innovations in technology and opportunities there, and a largely informal economy, that's exactly why we're partnering with Impact Hub on this.
The cool thing about technology is no matter where you are, you can work for any country or anyone anywhere. So this seemed like a really easy way to scale the work and the impact and to get opportunities for people who didn't have them locally.
First time I took a look beyond the curtain, somewhere around 2003, you had to go to an internet cafe and access the website. Then one day it didn't load because the internet was so slow, kind of waiting for it to load, messing around with some of the settings of the browser, and there was this option, click to view source. We clicked it and there's all these words, like what does this mean? A few more internet cafe sessions later, we realized that's how these things are built. And yeah, from there it's been downhill.
HTML, there they go. It can be JSON files, and it can be files from Node, etc. Your views can be pretty much anything. Who remembers what the control is? Anyone?
Like letters, you don't know what's happening. They're just letters, they're open brackets, closing brackets, all those dots, you don't know what they mean. So coding was difficult.
The initial curriculum was very, 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 very extensive. I got a bit carried away. I wanted to give them everything I know. But we dialed it down to a point where there could be junior developers. Like, okay, we'll get you to a point where someone else will onboard you to much more advanced systems. And taking people who were not involved in tech and walking them through that, seeing them grow, it's been very, very amazing.
The learning process was quite interesting because we had mentors, to explain where we didn't understand, other than, learning programming online is different, it's quite different. We also had lessons for our soft skills, yes, and entrepreneurial skills. So yeah, there was a lot to learn from them.
We also then provided soft skills, how do you conduct yourself in business? How do you deal with and address some of the issues that come up in business? And the idea is that coming out of this, they can use those technical skills and be able to set up a business using those.
Firstly, I came something like 3 days late. The crew had already started. That's number one. Number two, by then you would give me a laptop. I would only know how to, play games or play music, only that. So it was tough because I didn't know anything.
Truth be told, there was a time I wanted to drop out, especially when we started the JavaScript part. It was really hard. It's different from the simple front-end HTML language. So I wanted to drop out, but then I decided no, but this is something challenging. You should just go through it.
What we very much want to do is to have them commit something. So this is the program the training that they've received is paid usually, and it's not cheap. So if we are paying for that and Impact Hub is providing other support in the networks, we need them to commit something, What we found in the past in other programs like this one is that when everything is given, when you spoon feed people, they don't value it as much because they haven't invested anything in it. So we really wanted them to invest, and 4 were unable to do so. 11 were, like I'm saying, we were torn. We really wanted to step in, but we thought, no, let's continue like this. We need them to commit at least something to make it happen for themselves.
Maybe what I would probably want us to play on more, usually when you do a cover letter, you're trying to emphasize on the areas where the organization maybe has a gap and what they want your skill for. So you could pick up maybe, you've gone on our website and maybe there's things that you can do to improve that, or you can select 1 or 2 other qualities maybe that are in the job profile that they specify in the job description. Then they make me know that I understand that you also want to bring value to me. It's not only about what it is for you. So yeah.
As of now, they actually started a company. They had 2 or 3 clients. They are pulling their respective skills to actually deliver on jobs. We've accidentally created a development company. I'm not sure if any of them will go into industry and work as employees, but as it stands now, they are a fully functional company. And if they stay like that, that'll be very nice. If not, and they do end up in industry, they've got the skills to survive.
So what happened for that company to be formed? And it was an idea which just popped up from within our group, our class, mostly from the girls.
Basically, starting a company is challenging. Getting to understand and knowing each one's strengths and their weaknesses. We are in a learning curve. We can't say that we're going to stop here, but we're going to continue and keep learning and knowing how to manage the company as a group and together.
Well, it's easy to work as a team when it comes to programming, like development. It's easy, it's quicker, and it's more engaging. You get to learn from other team members other than doing it by yourself.
I was very glad to see that we were only 2 boys and the rest were girls. We have got a problem around that people who are into coding or into programming, mostly we are only guys doing that. Girls exempt themselves from that. I don't know if they're the ones who exempt themselves.
A lot of them weren't just learning these skills just to say, okay, I have the skill, let me get a job. They were looking at it as, I can now make a website. I can now write an application. What can I do with that for what I do? So a few of them sell clothes, a few of them are into motivational speaking. They're already seeing how to build their own platforms and how to monetize those platforms using the skills they have.
So if they start their companies, they have codepreneurs, they're working in different spaces, but now if they are able to cascade that impact and employ other people and teach other people and kind of keep growing the ecosystem in that way, that would be my biggest aspiration for them.
More and more technology is being recognized as not only a source of livelihoods, but also an economic driver. So there are increasing efforts from what we've observed of people, organizations, institutions who are supporting activity within that space. The landscape is ripe for it. I think there's so many opportunities, and yes, the recognition is there.
Well, since I come from rural areas, I'm more concerned about about encouraging my other fellow rural girls. Because as for me, my stream, primary school stream, I'm the only one who end up at university. Like with code, you can create game which give people awareness about child marriages, early pregnancies, or even the dangers of littering. Because it's a game, people will engage in and you get engaged in that game, and then the end product will be educating people at the same time.
I believe I can debug right now because it all starts with understanding the code. So yeah, I couldn't make websites before, now I can. I couldn't, type faster, should I say use a computer, like more confidently, but now I can.
I decided that if I am to continue doing OT, I need to look into this thing called coding so that I can incorporate it into OT. Thereby, we'll be creating assistive devices. Imagine having a wheelchair that you just tell what to do, like you're having your Siri understanding what you're telling it to do. You're telling it, I need to move from point A to point B, but you're on your wheelchair. Yes, you may not be able to move your arms and your legs, but if you are able to talk, if the application can read your voice, then it means you are still going to be doing what you used to do before. You don't have to live with the limitations.